Jack Doherty built his empire on wild pranks and massive giveaways, but lately, his girlfriend has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. From public meltdowns to borderline abusive livestream moments.
Hey, funny.
Oh my god.
Yo, you're a bitch. You're a little bitch. You're a bitch.
People are starting to ask the real question. Is Jack still in control of his channel, or has he completely lost the plot? Jack Doherty blew up in 2019 with over-the-top stunts, Tesla giveaways, and mall chaos. His energy was ridiculous, but fans loved him for it. Within just a couple of years, he went from nobody to a millionaire YouTuber. But behind all the viral content was a guy who knew exactly how to work the algorithm. Then came the girlfriend, McKinley Robinson, and the internet noticed immediately. They first started dating in 2023, and since then, she's been making frequent appearances in Jack's content, including his streams on Kick. McKinley's presence quickly became a central part of Jack's content. Her outspoken behavior and frequent appearances shifted her role from background figure to co-star. But as her visibility grew, so did the criticism. Viewers began describing her as toxic, controlling, and, in some cases, even abusive. The response from the audience was largely negative. "Brother, I thought he was horrid, but nah. I'm convinced that Jack's girlfriend isn't his actual girlfriend, and she's just there to get paid, lol." The fact that she's an OF model didn't help things either. Of course Jack Doherty is the type of guy to have an open OF model as his girlfriend, and actually support her OF by being in her OF advertising videos. As her presence grew, so did the backlash. Accusations of emotional manipulation, stream interruptions, and violent outbursts started piling up. Things really hit the fan when Jack and McKinley faked a wedding. The pair tried to make it seem legit, but honestly, the entire thing screamed fake.
Jack, I want you to repeat after me. I promise
I promise
to love you tender.
to love you tender.
I'll never leave you
I'll never leave you
with suspicious minds.
with suspicious minds.
I'll never leave you at Heartbreak Hotel.
I'll never leave you at Heartbreak Hotel.
Fans couldn't tell if it was Jack's idea or McKinley's. Either way, it was a huge flop. One particularly notable incident involved a serious dispute between Jack and McKinley, during which he allegedly made threatening remarks. The situation escalated to the point that McKinley contacted law enforcement to assist her in collecting her belongings and leaving the property. Worst of all, Jack live-streamed the entire argument, and fans felt like both of them were staging everything for views.
Listen,
What the f are you doing?
Listen, I'm getting
Why do you have to make it be like this, bro?
Because
Why are you
I'm
involving
scared.
the cops? You're calling the cops on me?
Excuse me.
After all, nah.
Excuse me. She wants to get some stuff from your house or from her house, which she has every right to do, and all she wants to do is leave after that.
Bro.
Nice and peaceful.
During the altercation, Jack repeatedly raised his voice, referring to McKinley using offensive language, calling her evil, and accused her of being involved with him for financial reasons. He also said, "I never thought it would be possible, but it's obvious. Like, flips like that in 24 hours, changes their passwords, called the cops to take all the like that. Like, who the does that after I've done everything for this girl for the past 2 years?" Even for viewers who were open to the reality TV-style drama, the situation felt difficult to take seriously. That same day, Jack publicly claimed he was single on X, which only added to the confusion and made both him and McKinley seem less credible. However, the concerns extend beyond Jack's content. McKinley also produces videos, and many viewers have criticized them for being overly staged, inauthentic, and lacking substance. The setup was questionable from the start. The question itself felt unnecessary, and the fact that the girls were wearing OTF shirts within the first few seconds made the entire thing feel painfully obvious. At a certain point, it stops being subtle and starts looking staged. It was clearly staged, and unfortunately, that same fake energy carried over to Jack's own content. What used to be original turned into titles like, "I caught my girlfriend cheating." Jack's content just isn't what it used to be, and a lot of longtime fans are clearly disappointed with the direction he's taken. Even Jack making occasional appearances on her channel hasn't helped the situation. If anything, it's only added to the backlash. Content like this is exactly why some fans feel there's no real chemistry between them. At first, people defended Jack. He's just trying to keep the peace, they said. But now, some think he's enabling it, even defending her on stream. And for a guy whose brand is based on likability, this silence is costing him everything. There are signs that Jack may be attempting to distance himself from the situation too. Recently, he and McKinley ended their relationship following a reported disagreement related to her daily routine, specifically concerns about her waking up late. And Jack here wanted to change that since he's a big believer of you are who you surround yourself with. Unfortunately, McKinley wasn't on the same page as him. The situation escalated quickly, and ultimately, McKinley ended up packing her things and returning home. To be fair, Jack didn't want to escalate things to this point. He said, "I just wanted to wake up early in the morning. Like, we're just getting lazy recently, and I don't like that. You are who you surround yourself with. So, wanted to shape her good too, and I wanted to just be on our because we're so lucky in life with what we have, and I want to keep living it. I don't know, sometimes it's hard to balance relationships and business." Some might respect his perspective, but it raises a fair question. If the relationship broke down over something this small, were they ever truly a good match? The upside is that Jack seems to be gaining some clarity. In that same livestream, he opened up about the relationship and gave fans a glimpse into what things were really like.
Bro, I'm done with girls, bro. I'm not dating a girl ever again, bro. I'm just gonna every on the planet until I can't handle it. I don't give a I can't. I'm gonna get 1,000 bodies this week. I'm done. I'm crashing out. I've been wanting to for two years.
And as I mentioned earlier, it didn't exactly come across as stable. He appeared genuinely affected by the breakup and even admitted to making significant sacrifices for her. However, despite saying all that, Jack seemed hopeful about getting back together with McKinley. But that possibility went out the window when McKinley sat down and told her side of the story. Turns out that the only reason why McKinley was even in the OF business was all because of Jack. In fact, he pushed her into it against her will. She sat down on the podcast One Night with Steiny and revealed this.
I actually didn't want to do it. I was so against it. It was against everything that I was, raised with, and it just really bothered me, but he told me he'd send me back home if I did it, so I did it.
And that wasn't all. According to McKinley, Jack had control over her finances and kept everything she earned for himself. If that claim turns out to be true, Jack could be facing legal consequences. Some of McKinley's critics believe she may try to capitalize on the situation and pursue a way to recover what she's lost. McKinley also talked about how making content with Jack was a painful experience. She never enjoyed a moment of it, simply because Jack was always doing something violent or extreme. Once McKinley shared her side of the story, Jack felt compelled to respond. With his reputation and career on the line, staying silent wasn't an option. He appeared on No Jumper for an interview and, to his credit, remained composed throughout. When asked where things went wrong, Jack decided to go into detail, but he did make one thing clear. He claimed that everything McKinley had said about him was false. Rather than responding with content or retaliatory posts, Jack chose not to escalate the situation publicly, and for some viewers, that restraint said more than any video ever could. To be clear though, this is not a defense of Jack. Allegations about him manipulating younger women into his OnlyFans network have circulated for some time, and it's possible that McKinley's claims hold more weight than they initially seemed to. At the same time though, many viewers don't see her as entirely innocent either. In their eyes, she was aware of what was happening, at least to some extent, and if Jack was using her for views, some believe she turned around and did the same to him. One person wrote, "She was only around for the money." Meanwhile, another wrote, honestly, both Jack and McKinley are in the wrong here. They both used each other for money. McKinley used Jack for clout and social media, while Jack used her for her OnlyFans money. These people are such hypocrites to society. And she wasn't in love with Jack anyway. She hung around, got rich, and bounced. In every view, she never once showed him her love. No kisses, no hugs, nothing. At this point, things aren't looking promising for Jack. His channel, once known for high energy, giveaways, and a lighthearted vibe, has shifted into something more like a reality show, and not in a good way. Whether it's because of the relationship or something deeper, it feels like he's lost the spark that made his content stand out. And if he doesn't regain control soon, the internet may end up making that decision for him. So, what's your take on the situation? Is it too late for Jack, or will he be able to turn things around?